Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdson, a World Alternative Media here, and it's happening again, my friends. Look at what we see on the screen here. This tweet from Becky Johnson. We're going to bring it full screen here and play it for you. I mean, this is just getting unbelievably ridiculous to the point of infuriating. And I know many of you have been infuriated all year this year. This video is from Wales. You can see in Wales, again, by government decree, they are deciding what is essential and what isn't. So socks and those kinds of groceries, tights, are not essential, but Halloween decorations, of course, are. Holiday crackers are. Of course, you can see a bunch of candy, junk food that'll make you unhealthy. Of course, those are essential. But again, socks and tights are not. We are going to get into this story as this Sky News article says. Coronavirus. Supermarkets in Wales have cordoned off non-essential items. Shoppers are furious. Again, like I said, it is happening again, and we saw this earlier this year. Most of us are absolutely disgustingly sick of this. And here we go again, my friends, and panic shopping and all sorts of stuff is coming to a place near you soon. Again, due to the brainwashed zombie masses. And we're going to get into this and much more today, but first make sure to hit that like button and join our newsletter at www.iambanned.com. As many of you may know, we were completely deleted off of YouTube. And of course, we're only on BitChute, LBRY / Odysee, as well as Flote.app at this point. We really appreciate everyone that subscribes to us, hits that notification bell, hits that like button, and shares on social media to get around this insanity of the information war. Of course, we are completely viewer funded, so go to our GoFundMe, Patreon, Subscribestar. Anything helps to keep us up and running. And of course, we have a merchandise store. And last but not least, we ask that you go to Twitter, World Alt Media, and you go to our pinned tweet and retweet it and like it and tell Team YouTube that we want to reinstate our channel. Not because we want to post videos there, but so we can let the 95% of people know that aren't aware yet that we were deleted. Anyways, let's get into this article out of Sky News, as I mentioned. Coronavirus supermarkets in Wales have cordoned off non-essential items. Shoppers are furious. A disabled shopper has said many of the products, which include pillows and kettles, are essential to people like herself. And as you can see this picture here, just this is so absolutely ridiculous that we've gotten to this point. It says on that piece of paper on the screen there, in line with government guidelines, we are unable to sell non-essential items at this time. Thank you for your understanding. So the government gets to decide what's essential and what isn't essential, just like they were able to decide earlier this year who is an essential worker and who isn't. Apparently, people feeding their family in some lines of work isn't as essential as the others, and that really gets to the whole point of the matter here, which is that the government doesn't actually care about you. They want to control you. This isn't about stopping a virus. This is about controlling you, and it's obvious to anyone with any working brain cells at this point. And this is, I mean, remember at the beginning of the year when they had, nurses who, by the way, don't have any background in infectious disease studies or virology or immunology or epidemiology. Not attacking all nurses here, because there's a lot of great nurses out there, but this idea that they were going on, so many of them were going on Facebook and Twitter saying, I'm an essential worker. How absolutely insulting to about 95% of people out there that are trying to put food on the table for their family so their family stays healthy, and they're told that they're non-essential. Absolutely insane. We've been over this before. As this article continues, shoppers in Wales have criticized government measures which mean non-essential items have been put behind metal barriers or covered with plastic sheeting in supermarkets. By the way, while viruses don't stand on surfaces more than a few seconds, germs do. Putting up all this stuff everywhere is more likely to infect a person. You have plastic everywhere and things stick to the plastic. But this isn't about science. This is about absurdity at this point. As it continues here, it says, Photos on social media show products such as pillows and bed sheets under a plastic covering at a Tesco store, while a photo from a Morrison supermarket shows children's clothes behind a cordon. One social media user has pointed out how baby clothes have been deemed to be non-essential in a Tesco market in Cardiff, while vodka is still available on the shelves in the same store. A photo from Tesco store in Pengham Green shows products including cups and plates behind metal barriers. And you could see that again from Becky Johnson. I need to point out that during the beginning of the year, they were blocking off things like shoes. Like, apparently shoes were non-essential. It took me 3 months to get shoes. I was blocked in Mexico from ordering over Amazon, and they said that it would take months anyway to deliver because they were overloaded. Complete insanity. And it took me months and months to get shoes, and there's holes in the bottom of my shoes, and I could not get shoes. I go into a store, they'd be right there, and they had police tape all over it. And I'm like, can I get those shoes? They're like, no, it's dangerous because of transmission of coronavirus. I'm like, I'm already standing here. Can I have those shoes? It's just absolutely ridiculous. But at the same time, candy was open for anyone to get. Incredibly dangerous pharmaceutical pills were available for everyone to get, including painkillers that actually increase your possibility of getting a lung infection, which is one of the #1 deaths when you get a virus of any kind. Coronavirus, any kind of virus, all it does is causes your immune system to attack itself, which leaves you open to other things that you can get, which then putting plastic over everything increases your chances of getting colds. Putting plastic over everything increases your chances of getting an infection. And those infections are very detrimental. I've had pneumonia many times in my life. It's nonsense. It's obvious nonsense. Continuing on in this article, you see these posts here from Becky Johnson from all over the place, like coffee mugs and pots and pans and stuff like that. Non-essential, non-essential. It's just, we've gotten to a point where the government decides what we can or can not, should or should not buy, what we can or cannot, should or should not wear, and where we should or should not walk with sidewalks taped off, with arrows telling us where to go, babying, nannying, hand-holding nonsense that puts us at risk of the biggest virus on earth, which is tyranny. As it continues, it says, Sainsbury's has emptied shelves and closed part of its store in Tenby that would usually be selling non-essential items. A sign in the store reads, following the latest government public health restriction, we are unable to sell certain items, including plants and flowers, general merchandise, homeware, or clothing. And we remember in a lot of cases, people were unable to buy seeds to plant food, to help feed their family, or, who cares? If they want to plant food, why on earth would that be deemed non-essential? Oh, we got to stop the transmission by stopping people from going to the store for certain things, like clothing their baby, like planting food so they're self-sustainable, like getting socks or shoes. No, but you could go to the store and get chocolate filled with sugar that can lead to cancer, which, by the way, people can't get their cancer screenings lately because of all this COVID nonsense. So in a lot of cases, then you end up being extremely detrimental and causing the cancer death rate to go up. Anyway, there's so many more images of this stuff. It's unbelievable what we're witnessing throughout the world, and this is coming to a place near you soon. This absurdity comes. Look, these gates literally look like the gates you put up for a baby by the stairs, so babies don't fall down the stairs. That's what they think of you, my friends. They think that you're incapable of taking care of yourself, incapable of being responsible, the basis of freedom itself, by the way. Once they take away the responsibility of the individual, they take away freedom. And collective responsibility is not a thing. Collective responsibility is better known by another word. It's called slavery. And I think that we have honestly fallen very deep into the pit of slavery at this point. And people say, oh, it's not the same as blacks on plantations. And it's like, there's different kinds of slavery. There's kinds that are worse and not as bad, and et cetera, et cetera. To define slavery simply by one example of slavery throughout history is absolutely stupid. It's about when you're being controlled by a master. That is slavery. And they're clearly controlling people. And we're witnessing the potential prospect of panic buying coming up soon with lockdown 2.0, worldwide absolute tyranny, the possibility of them pushing this mutated version of the virus, COVID-21. It just will never end. They'll say, oh, people who got COVID-19, now they'll get COVID-21, so we have to keep locking down, keep locking down. Fauci's talking about possibly masks until 2022 and social distancing until 2022. Originally, he said until the fall, and then he said until summer 2021, and now he's saying until 2022. Guys, this wasn't 15 days to flatten the curve. The curve has been flattened. And by the way, look at Sweden. Look at their chart. Look at how few people are dying. This is insanity, my friends, and we've got Orwellian doublespeak left and right where people say up is down, left is right, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength, and war is peace, and we're really witnessing Orwellian doublespeak. So when you actually tell people about this stuff, I say, well, Sweden's death rate is the lowest in Europe currently. No, it isn't. Look at these stats from May. That show that they were about the same level as the rest of Europe, but didn't lock down. I mean, you can't argue, and I keep seeing the same, whenever I talk about masks, I see the same article going around by the NHS. It's just this government paper, but what about the 269 studies that show that masks doesn't cut the transmission more than, it's like 3 to 30% from you spreading to another person. However, your chances of getting something increased by about 40% by having it on. It's like, you don't hear anyone talking about that, and if you do talk about it, it disappears from social media, and then you get these idiots that call you plague rats throwing these ridiculous articles from the government at you. Because apparently after 50 plus years of Fauci, for example, trying to study the spread of viruses, suddenly overnight he changed his mind about masks. I mean, we all know this. At this point, I'm not even sure if there's a point in trying to reach these idiots anymore, these complete fools, because they're bringing us down. This is exactly what Nazi Germany was like, in the sense where they got people to, for the greater good of the greater number, toe this line, and everyone else was basically screwed at that point. And this is a worldwide problem. And my God, if we don't break free as individuals and live by example and live freely, we are so screwed. We are so screwed. I like to be able to bring people a positive message, but we are so screwed at this rate. They're already putting categories on travel websites for the COVID-19 vaccine passport ID. So if you can or cannot go into countries based on having a COVID-19 vaccine, I mean, unless you want to just give in and be a slave and be comfortable in your slavery and be poisoned and possibly brain damaged, like these studies are seeming to show for the trials, which are being rushed and being covered up. And unless you want to be comfortable in that slavery, you got to act. And a lot of us won't be around in a few years at this rate. Like at the rate that it's moving, we won't be around in a few years. And this information war, they're kind of winning right now. And we need to stand up and keep sharing this information and shaking people by the shoulders and telling them to wake up, because this is like, it's so bad. Anyways, I'll keep bringing you guys videos on this subject right away. I appreciate everyone watching and staying tuned to us at BitChute, as well as LBRY/Odysee, as well as Flote.app, Flote.app, where everyone's going outside of Twitter and Facebook, of course. I'll continue doing this. Make sure to check the links below: GoFundMe, Patreon, Subscribestar. Of course, we are completely viewer funded, and we also have a Bitcoin address and our CoinTree link below, which shows you all the different cryptocurrency addresses you can donate to help keep independent media alive. I really appreciate it, guys. I don't even know what else to say. I'm pissed off. Go to www.iambanned.com to join our newsletter. All it takes is an email. It helps us a lot. And, of course, otherwise, get our merchandise from our Teespring store and reach out to Twitter. Go to our pinned tweet on Twitter and retweet it about us being deleted from YouTube. Anyways, stay tuned for much more. Until next time, this is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.
I'm sure you have already changed people's minds in your young age because you're involved, and I like that.